Welcome back to The Hill on NewsNation. I'm Mike Vaquera. Let's turn back to our top story. Both President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy are facing potential revolts from within. That's over some of the proposals emerging from any deal to raise the debt ceiling. New York Republican Congressman Anthony D'Esposito joins us now. Congressman from his home in Nassau County, I'm going to assume. Welcome. Thank you for being with us on a beautiful Friday. Tell me something. So these talks are ongoing now. Yes, sir. What is your bottom line? What do you absolutely have to see in this bill in order for you to support it?
I think we need to stick with what we put forth in the Limit, Save, Grow Act. We want to limit spending. We want to grow our economy. And we want to make sure that abled bodies that have the ability to work. I think that's where we're at. I think that as long as we could say that we're limiting spending, that we want to grow our economy, that's what the majority of Republicans want. And quite frankly, we saw recently that over 60% in a poll, 60% of Americans feel like we should cut spending. And similarly, the same number of people also feel that able bodies should be out there working.
I mean, you're home now. You talked about polls and public opinion. Are people rushing up to you on the street and talking about the debt ceiling? Is this front and center now? Is there urgency among your constituents, or is this something that we're sort of fixated on here in Washington?
I think it's a little bit of a mixture. You know, I have spoken to some people who have some concerns, but I think that many people are looking at this as theatrics from Washington, and obviously what they're looking for is for us to get to a solution. They send us to Washington, they elect us to represent them, and they want to find solutions. They don't want to see theatrics. They don't want to see the back and forth, and quite frankly, many of them that I speak to wish that President Biden and his administration didn't wait 90-something days to have a conversation with Speaker McCarthy.
Yeah, okay. Theatrics is part of the landscape around here, I guess. It's almost inevitable, and I know everybody says they're sick of it, but yet somebody is enjoying this. I mean, or else it wouldn't be happening. That's, I think, the way Washington works anyway. You know, you outlined some broad parameters there, limit spending, and I know the House of Representatives, Republicans, put through their bill last month to do just that and roll back to last year's fiscal year spending levels, for example, modestly boost defense spending. I mean, those are broad parameters, but what's being negotiated now evidently is not quite as strict or doesn't stick to the cutbacks. The cutbacks won't be what Republicans are looking for. Does Speaker McCarthy have a problem within the Republican conference in the House? Is he going to lose conservatives if he gives an inch on that? And can he survive if he relies on Democrats to get this through the House?
Well, I'm not sure that we're relying on Democrats. I am confident that Speaker McCarthy will do his job. He's been diligent. He has some of our colleagues that are working side by side with him. And I know that he is going to do his best to negotiate the best deal for the American people. And we're going to come together as a conference and do what we need to do. Are there going to be disagreements? Absolutely. Are there going to be people who think that we should ask for more, give more? Absolutely. But in the end, I am confident that Speaker McCarthy will get his conference together, get our conference together, and we will move this nation forward. While the Democrats seem to want to hold our economy hostage because they don't think that able bodies should be able to go out there and work, we've actually taken the stance, a month ago, putting our legislation in place and putting the ball in the president's court, which he decided to, dribble away for the last 90-something days.
Yeah, those work requirements seem to be a red line for Republicans on food stamps, as you termed it, able-bodied people, and that is something that evidently Republicans think resonates with the public. Let me ask you about Janet Yellen. You may have missed the breaking news at the top of the hour, Congressman. The Treasury Secretary saying that it's not June 1st, after all. It's going to be June 5th on Monday. At least that's her latest estimation of the deadline for coming to a deal and avoiding a default, or at least trying to avoid stop paying bills and salaries in the federal government, whatever it is that they're required to do. Do you believe her? I mean, is that credible?
I mean, listen, I think originally she said that it was early June, and then she had said June 1st. We'll see what happens. I think, again, this is more on the part of Democrats trying to create fear and scare, the same way that they're trying to spread lies that Republicans are cutting Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security. It's more of the same, and like you mentioned a few minutes ago, some people like theatrics, and these are part of them.
So you think the Treasury Secretary has a political agenda in setting June 5th as the date?
I do. I think that she sees that the president and the administration are not able to come to a conclusion. I think that we're realizing, as we've seen over the last few days, there are Democrats in Congress that are frustrated with leadership in their party and the way that they've handled this debt ceiling. And I do believe that giving them a few more days to handle this business that they should have handled over the last 90 days, I think it gives them more time.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.